What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is your NXT review for October the 22nd, 2024. This is your go-home show for Halloween Havoc, happening live this Sunday on Peacock. I'm going to be here for it, and I'm going to cover that show in its entirety, including this show here. We've seen a lot of things happen on this show. We've seen the debut of not Delta, but I believe it's Zaharia. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. We'll see. Which I was surprised they debuted her tonight, but they did. We saw the NXT return of the Sky Pirates, who are still as over as ever in NXT. We saw Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia team up to take on Fatal Influence. We also saw more matches announced for Halloween Havoc, including an ambulance match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland, and an NXT North American Women's Championship match. So, a lot of stuff to talk about here on NXT. Please, before we do all that, hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe, youtube.com/@MisfitWrestlingPodcast. Follow social medias, Piledriver Pulse on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and Pandora, where you can find the other audio outlets. There were some updates from the side of Samantha Irvin. As you guys know, Samantha Irvin resigned last night from WWE. It was apparently a long time thing that happened. That was going on here with stuff here. She apparently had already talked about this with WWE for months. She is not going to AEW. She is going to be going to work on her music career. So good for her. I'm very excited to see what she does in her music career. She has a phenomenal voice. So I can't wait to see what she does here. One thing I was very surprised about when I read that article earlier today from PW Insider is that she is going to she's a mom. I did not see that coming. Wasn't expecting that, but it happened. So, yeah. Some news on NXT, the NXT original, not the NXT original, the NXT show that's happening on November the 6th. Pre-sale has already sold out. More tickets have been added to the show. So as we found out that NXT's pre-show happened around, 10:30 in the morning, I believe. They sold out immediately. More tickets have been added for limited seats. You can pre-order, or you can order your tickets at the 300arena.com, the former ECW Arena. There has been teases from a former ECW legends, also like the Sandman, the Dudleys, RVD maybe, Kid Cash, which is a name I haven't heard in forever. So, imagine if they brought in Kid. I don't even know if Kid Cash could still go, but we'll see what they're going to do here. He's Bubba Ray Dudley, even though I don't fucking like his takes on wrestling. He'll get there. If he said he's gonna be there for the Philly show, he's gonna firsthand experience the aura of one Giulia. So that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be very, very fun here. I believe more tickets for Halloween Havoc are on sale this weekend. Or still on sale for this weekend's Halloween Havoc. So, I'm very looking forward to that. There was also two matches announced for next week, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Before I get into that, there actually has been some. Actually, that's for Raw. I'll keep that for later. But yeah. So let's talk about. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get into the little news here, this whole controversial line here before I get into the NXT portion of the show here because I want to get this out of the way. Because if I don't, it's going to get on my nerves if I don't get to talk about it, and I'm not going to wait until because there's not going to be a pile driver pulse this weekend because of Halloween Havoc. So I'm gonna talk about it now. We get out of the way here. Last night, Carlito said some racist ass shit about the Chinese thing. A lot of people got rightfully upset about it. And I saw some fucking moron on social media. Before I get into this bullshit here, let me see if I can find this here. So let me see if I can find what the fuck I saw here. So some moron on Twitter said, quote, white people are getting triggered by a Puerto Rican man saying he needs to learn Chinese right after he saw two Japanese women. Can you people stop being offended by every little thing? Grow up and learn, have some fun. And then I said, hey, dipshit, if you're going to get on here and claim it's only white people getting triggered by this, when I've seen people of all color getting mad about this, especially the Asian people, the Asian culture getting mad about this, shows you how fucking stupid and how fucking dumb you are. The stupidity I've seen online today about this, using it as, oh, he's in character, or his character's supposed to be dumb, or, oh, it's a joke. I'm like, racism's not a joke, you stupid fucking uneducated people. I'm sorry. How old is this motherfucker again? A 45-year-old grown-ass man should not be going up to very much Japanese women and saying, while they leave, and saying, I should probably learn some Chinese. Because guess what? Y'all fucking went after Triple H and WWE for this. Well, come to find out, it was not actually even in the script. They didn't know he was going to say this. This is what Fightful had to say, and fuck. By the way, before I get into this, because this tweet pissed me off quite a bit too, from fucking PWP Nation. Go fuck yourselves. First of all, they said, hey, can we please remember this is all fucking fiction, you weak, spineless cowards? Being fucking fiction, and this is me replying, being fucking fiction ain't a fucking excuse for racism, you stupid fucking moron. Go fuck yourself. People who associate it, these people have always been assholes to everybody. So PWP Nation can go fuck themselves. They can go. I could care less what happens to their channel. I could care less what happens to them. They're fucking wastes of human being trash. Fuck them. It's nice to know that they are racist too. Here's what Fightful had to say about that. And people want to tell people to go lose their job. You can go fuck yourself. Fuck out of here. Do I like certain people at Fightful? Not really. Do I like... There's a lot of people I like it. I don't really care for Righteous Red because he sometimes is an asshole. Just look at his comment about NXT going to Philadelphia for the ECW arena. There you go. And his comments about Bray Wyatt. And then he has to... And then, And then because Bray Wyatt's died, he's got to be all of a sudden a Bray Wyatt guy. Fuck out here with that. Anyways, here's what Fightful had to say. They said, and I quote, Carlito had a controversial line, and those we spoke to claimed it wasn't planned. No fucking shit. During a backstage segment with Adam Pearce, Carlito quipped, I gotta learn Chinese after Io Sky and Kairi Sane walked out of frame. Both women are Japanese, and in the case of Io, she was subjected to a comment on NXT television a few years ago, which everybody heard. Well, actually, not a lot. I heard it vaguely, but she heard it loud and clear, saying, "Go back to China." That's where she did the famous "I'm Japanese, bitch" split, where she fucking ruined that man's life completely. Before I continue that, Kairi Sane, even though she didn't get thrown things like Chinese stuff at her, fucking lines at her. It was in some place in Florida. I think it was St. Petersburg, Florida. They were at an NXT house show back in 2018, and she was subjected to fucking racist shit like Remember Pearl Harbor and Happy Ending. Some fucking racist. The point I'm trying to make is, why do you need to be racist towards fucking people in general? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They continued. The line was edited out of all digital clips. The segment starting after his line, claiming the claim internally was from at least one staff member was that line was not scripted. They had and that they had spoken to were in disbelief that it was said. Internally, there were a number of people in the company that weren't happy that it happened. I don't fucking blame them. We've not heard any action or heat on anyone for the situation. It's probably going to go to fucking Carlito, because if it was ad-lib, because according to Brian Alvarez, who kind of confirmed the situation, yeah, it was ad-lib. Well, if it was fucking ad-lib, then Carlito has fucking ruined any chances of this rumor push that he was getting for being a racist piece of shit for that. You don't fucking say it. I don't care if it was for a joke or not. Don't fucking say it. And to the people who said, oh, well, you could less of the fucking Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was a bunch of racist shit, too. So fuck that. This is 2024, 1998. Get over it. The only snowflakes here are the people who want this shit that keep continuing. Why do you think there was less people of color that wanted to be around in 1998? Because of this shit. We're trying to get away from that Vince McMahon era bullshit. Okay? Lines like that do not need to be in this version of the WWE. And I see people using R-Truth as an example. I'm like, R-Truth is not smart enough to not say this dumbass shit. I've never seen R-Truth go around saying shit like that. Never. At least not this day and age. What has he probably said in the past? Maybe. Jesus Christ, people are fucking stupid. Jesus Christ. This does not give him an excuse to fucking say some racist ass shit. If he had just walked around and said, huh, and just been like, they're cool or whatever, right? If he had just said, a simple thing, if it was me, I would have been like, I don't know what they said, but it sounded cool. Instead of fucking whatever the fuck he said. See, what I said was a racist. I just said they were cool. No, you just have to fucking say that shit. That's my little rant there. Go fuck yourself, you racist pieces of shit who want to condone this shit. You have no place in this fucking thing called pro wrestling. You probably the people who probably condone this are also probably Jim Cornette fans and fucking because Jim Cornette loves saying this shit about Japanese wrestlers all the time. So fuck him too. Anyway, let's talk about people who are so much better than you people. That is the Sky Pirates, who started off NXT facing off against Metaphor, two very talented Japanese women who are much better human beings than most of you people online. Had a little fun match here with Lash Legend Jakara Jackson here. There was a little slip up here. Obviously, the Damage Control came out and had this massive pop. They're always going to be over in NXT. NXT Legends, former NXT Women's Champions. Kairi Sane, I believe, still holds the record for the shortest NXT Women's title run. Let me look here. Which I still don't like that they did that. Still pisses me off. But it might be still Kairi. No, it's Indy Hartwell now. At one point, it was Kairi. Kairi at the time of her winning it, it was 71 days. She held it. She won it. She beat Shayna Baszler for it at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I had to rewatch that show the next day because we were at my cousin had gotten married, and I didn't get to watch it because where we at had fucking terrible Wi-Fi service, so I didn't get to watch anything on Wi-Fi wise. So I had to wait until we got home to watch. I believe that was SummerSlam weekend. I was able to get home to watch SummerSlam, but TakeOver, I only found out results through what I could find on the internet, and then I was able to watch some of it, and then and then when I got home, I watched the whole show. So where's that thing? And then Shayna won the title back for some weird fucking reason at Evolution. She should have won the title. If Shayna was going to win the title back, I would have just had her win it back at War Games that year, and had Kairi had at least maybe a 3-month run with it. I don't know why they didn't do that, but now Indy Hartwell has the shortest run with 331 days. She won in a ladder match at Stand and Deliver last year, and then she relinquished it when she got drafted to the Raw, but also was injured. So there is that. Io Sky obviously held the title for 304 days. Lost it unfortunately to the Charisma Vacuum known as Raquel Rodriguez, who I don't want to listen. I went on a rant last night about how horrible that fucking match was last night. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to be honest with you. There hasn't been a better run. Listen, Tiffany had an okay run. Becky had before Becky. To me, the best run out before Becky was see the way I look at the NXT Women's Championship, and we'll get into not Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez in a little bit. The way I see it here, I go Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Io Sky. Actually, no. Hold on. Actually, I go with Asuka, Shayna Baszler. The second run that Roxanne's having, Io Shirai. Then I go to Becky Lynch, and then everybody else. That's the way I see it. To me, I still think at one point I did think Ember Moon was the worst women's champion, but now it is Mandy Rose. Oh yeah, it is Mandy Rose. I can't unfortunately use Indy Hartwell for that. Because as soon as she won the title, she got drafted, so it didn't really matter at that point. I'm trying to think. Actually, no. There's also a case can be made for Charlotte Flair winning it. I still don't understand why they had Charlotte Flair win it at WrestleMania. I still don't get that, but who am I to fucking go on about that here? I mean, Sasha was an alright champion. Bailey was okay as a champion, and then when Asuka won it, and then Asuka had this fucking fire ass run with it. But that's how I look at it. That's my rank, really. I think it was at 4 people. Yes, get Becky, even though she held it for 42 days. In that 42 days, she had matches with people that never got TV time, which was people like Xia Li and Tegan Knox, and she also defended against Lyra Valkyrie when Lyra won the title last year. But who the fuck else did she defend the title against? Let me look here. Becky Lynch. It's clear as day. They need her. I'm hoping she's going to be back in time. So she defended the title. All right, here. Okay, so here it is. So she won the title from Tiffany Stratton, who got Tiffany Stratton over. Got her the main roster. Excuse me. So so let me look here. So she beat Becky Lynch. No, she beat Tiffany Stratton on that NXT show, which actually had a great match, by the way. Defended against Natalya for some weird reason on that Raw. I believe it was a week after, maybe. And then she had that Extreme Rules match at No Mercy last year against Tiffany Stratton. That was the first time in a long time that the women main evented the show. I think that would have been the second time that the women have ever actually made the main of the show. Yeah. As far as I know, when it comes to 3 times. Okay, so it would be the third time. So, the Iron Woman match between Bayley and Sasha at Respect, I believe, was the first time the women in general have ever been main evented a pay-per-view, let alone NXT show, NXT takeover show. And then it happened again with Io winning the title at In Your House, which I was very concerned about that, because when they ended the show, I'm like, oh my God, are they just gonna have her eat the pin? Thankfully that didn't happen. And then last year with Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton, then she had that match with Tegan Knox. Where's the hell is that match with Xia Li at? Hold on, something's missing here. Where's the match with Xia Li? Why is it missing here? Hold on, Xia Li. Oh, I guess it wasn't Xia. Okay, so, okay, that all right. Okay, that was okay. For some reason, I thought that was an NXT Women's Title match. For some reason, that might have happened after the NXT title. Okay, that may have been after she won lost the title. Yeah. So again, to reiterate, my rankings of the NXT Women's titles title scene is Asuka, Shayna, I almost said it again. Roxanne, Becky. So that's one. So that's we're gonna need a top 5 here. So I'm gonna go with. Oh, actually, nope. Yeah, Io. Yeah, that's what it was. Io at number 5. Actually, no. I put Io over Becky there. So there's my top 5 in that order. By the way. Number one being Asuka, 2 being Shayna, 3 being Roxanne, 4 being Io, and 5 being Becky. That's what I meant. I don't know why I was trying to complicate that as much as I did there. But yeah, this is fine here. Not a lot of botches. Io went to go for her trademark not drop what the fucking thing, the springboard drop kick. She slipped and fell and then recovered, and I simply said Io doesn't botch, she falls with style is what she did, because she followed that up with an uppercut and then just completed the match afterwards. Shockingly, I was not expecting uh, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green to come in. They did and caused the disqualification, the double disqualification. So it seems like they're setting up a fatal four-way for the women's tag team titles here, and it looks like it's going to be the champions Bianca and Jade versus the Sky Pirates versus Metaphor versus I don't know if they have a name for themselves, but Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. So it seems like that's what's played out, which I'm fine with. As long I'm perfectly fine with that as long as the Sky Pirates walk away with the tag team titles. You've got to give them titles or something. Especially Kyrie. Like I not just for the fact that these two have never won the tag team. That's something I think Triple H is looking at too, because they keep mentioning on commentary. They mentioned it on Raw last night, and I think the week before they mentioned it tonight, and I believe when they brought that match up on SmackDown last week, they said then Kyrie and Io have never won the tag team titles together in any company, not even Stardom. Which when I heard that, I was surprised. It's like let me show you. I can't show you. I'm gonna talk about it here. Look, so Io as tag team champions, which in Stardom is the Goddess of Stardom title. She's only held that title once, and that was with Mayu Iwatani. Right? She's held the titles twice with Dakota Kai, right? The women's tag team titles with Dakota Kai. She's held the titles once was it twice or once? Oh, it was once with Zoe Stark. For some reason I couldn't remember. And then Kyrie, think about this. Kyrie 3 times the Goddess of Stardom champions, once with Natsumi Shosaki, then again with Nanae Takahashi, and then again with Yoko Baito. So again, never won it with Io in Stardom. In WWE, she's a 2-time women's tag team champion with Asuka. She's never won the titles with Io in any company. So I think that that's on purpose here, because they keep bringing it up. I think they're going to win the tag team titles. I don't know when they're going to do this match. I don't want them to do this match in Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia doesn't deserve it. Okay, they don't deserve it after how they reacted to Kyrie last year. So what I would do is I would do the War Games match, because I think they're going to do the Women's War Games match. It's just kind of a natural thing that they're going to do. Now they could just throw this match on a Raw or a SmackDown or an NXT. We haven't got to SmackDown yet. There's always a possibility that they add this 4-way match onto Halloween Havoc for Sunday. But they want to load up that show in December for what's that show? Almost a New Year's Eve Revolution. Oh my God! Saturday night's main event. You can do that match there, or hear me out. NXT in Philly. You can do it there. Yeah, you do it. Like, the tag titles have changed hands on SmackDown Raw plenty of times. I don't think they've ever changed hands on NXT. Let me look though. I don't think they've actually changed hands on NXT before. Let me look. No, I'm looking here, right? I'm looking. I don't. Yeah, they've never changed hands on SmackDown on NXT. That would be a first. So that's why I continue to do it. That we'll see. But that's how we'll see. It wasn't the last time we saw Kyrie and Io tonight. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit here. Jada Parker defeated Tatum Paxley. This was fine for what it was. The main focus is the the aftermath here. So Lola Vice came in to try to distract Jada Parker. That didn't happen. That won't work at all. While that's being going on, they're, I guess, trying to brawl each other on the outside. Wendy Choo comes out and just abducts Tatum Paxley by putting her in a box. I guess a toy box. So it was more like a production crate. And for some reason, my dumb ass thought they were trying to make a casket match at Halloween Havoc, and then I thought about it, and then I remembered, because somebody posted it, and I remember Wendy Choo, maybe Tatum Paxley, but Wendy Choo more accurately is going to be in Detroit for Bound for Glory. Which I may or may not watch Bound for Glory. I haven't decided yet. I'll let you guys know. I won't unfortunately cover it because I got the Goddess of Stardom Tag League starting up this weekend, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Anyway, so that's probably what that's going to be lead to. So we might see Tatum Paxley on the show Saturday. We'll see. I'll go from there. We see Adriana Rizzo attacked, which at first I thought, oh, she's trying to she big cast herself. Because if you remember, I wouldn't blame you if you don't, because I don't remember this either, but I'm gonna bring it up. They did the whole angle with Enzo and Cass did the thing like, oh well, I'm down, and so somebody injured him, and then all of a sudden he staged the whole thing and whatnot. That's why I thought it was. Apparently not, because Oba Femi defeated Luca Crucifenzo and beat the shit out of Stacks and Luca, while having what the fuck is his name? The NXT North American champion Tony D'Angelo, zip tied. He put Luca, I believe, through a table. Oh no, he put Stacks through a table and then put Luca through a bridge ladder through on the from the apron and the what the fuck is that damn thing called? The announce table. Because they got a TLC match coming up this weekend. Which, by the way, we're going to go through our previews and predictions for that show, and after we get there, we had our Trick Williams, Ethan Page segment here. So, at one point here, Trick questions why Ethan Page says that Trick is all flesh, no confidence, and then says that he's going, anything goes in Devil's Playground. The match not only benefits him, and not Williams. Page says that Trick looks accumulated. That doesn't have a devil inside of him. Trick says that Trick isn't built for the Devil's Playground. Excuse me. Trick Williams. I'm just gonna say Trick. I get weird when I say somebody's last name. It just weirds me out sometimes. Trick says that he's been through a lot with Carmella Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, and Pete Dunne. Says Ethan Page says that Hayes didn't even think about every single way that he could hurt him. And on Sunday, he'll see the vision of himself. He'll see the version of himself that WWE fans and Trick hasn't seen. Trick says that Ethan Page has done a lot of talking, but has yet to pin him. He says that Page is desperate and is doing anything he can to stay close to the NXT Championship. Page says that for the first time in Trick's career, someone will actually hurt Trick, and Trick says that he's looking forward to it, and they do all that stuff here. So, overall, this was a great segment. I'm very much looking forward to the match on Sunday. I'll talk about who I think is going over on that show when we get to that here, because they've made a very interesting noteworthy piece in that whole thing, in the whole segment, which is going to play a part in the main event I'm assuming it's going to be the main event of that show on Sunday. So basically, Sol Ruka making her way out to the ring against Carmen Petrovic. We see Carmen talking to Shante, the perverted Adonis, and then he's doing some stuff here. Sol Ruka wins with the Soul Snatcher. That move is so fucking cool. Sol Ruka's fucking cool. So there's that. After the distraction from the pervert known as Shante, the pervert Adonis. So yeah. We come back from break. Then we got OTM with Jada Parker taking on the Public Enemy. I mean, Tank with Cole Custer, the race car driver. Listen, I have nothing against Hank and Tank, really, I don't. Every time I see these motherfuckers come out here, all I can think about is Flyboy, Rock, and Johnny Grunge, the fucking Public Enemy, okay? That's all I can think about when I see these guys come out here. I'm like, why are these guys just like Public Enemy? I get it. I mean, if they're trying to pay homage to the Public Enemy, fine, I guess. But okay. Hank and Tank get the win here. Afterwards, they're dancing with Lola Vice. For some weird fucking reason, Lola Vice came down here, and they start dancing with fucking race car drivers, whatever. Earlier on the night, though, I didn't mean to forget about this, but so Javon Evans was with Cedric Alexander. They were talking to the NXT Tag Team Champions Nathan Frazer and Axiom. Axiom's like, you'll get it next time, kid. Don't worry about it. Nathan Frazer, who had the right idea, but came across like a dick when he said it. That you'll get it eventually, and Javon Evans, slapped the taste out of this boy's mouth. Which, I mean, Nathan Frazer, there's some. I see the vision now. He's getting to that point where he's becoming the next Seth Rollins, because obviously that guy was trained by Seth Rollins. But that set up I think maybe a tag match, or was it a singles match between Nathan Frazer and Javon Evans for next week. Javon Evans walks off, and there is fucking Wesley hanging out like a fucking weirdo, saying, sooner or later it was going to happen and whatnot. And he's like, and we're about to have another fight here and all that stuff here. So there's that. And then we also seen Nikkita Lyons talking to, I don't remember who she was talking to. I don't know if they were that much important to talk about on here, but I don't remember their names, unfortunately. But she was talking about, you need to get, don't just wait around for it, fucking, whatever. Oba Femi comes around with her jacket and says, I dropped this. And a little flirtatious thing going on. We're like, God damn, Sean, how horny are you? Jesus. And Jesus, my guy. We've seen Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, because this is going to tie into here a little bit here. Before I do that, I also want to mention that next week we're going to have a NXT Heritage Cup match, because apparently Lexis King talked himself into a Heritage Cup rematch with Charlie Dempsey, saying, both our fathers are wrestlers. And then I guess throughout the show, he's trying to find somebody to be in his corner, and he doesn't want to. No one wants to be him that. A very interesting character work that they're doing here, because Lexis King went to, oh my God, who did he go to? Ava's office, and said, everybody thinks I'm going to be like him. Are or whatever. He says, everybody likes you because of your dad and whatnot. So very interesting where they're going. Very interested to know where they're going with this here. So look forward to that next week. Then we found out that we saw Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez going on about they're going to beat Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer on Sunday. The Fatal Influence walked in and said, yeah, well, what's left of them and whatnot. And then Kelani Jordan says, you guys talk too much game and shit. Who's my opponent for Sunday? And I believe it was JC Jane said, you're going to find out on Sunday. But tonight you're going to find out what type of matches it is because of the wheel. So then get to the main event as we see not Roxanne. We've seen, by the way, I'm very surprised that was the last we saw Roxanne and Cora Jade on the show, by the way. Yeah. So Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia are walking backstage, and everyone when it was announced that Io and Kyrie were going to be on the show this week, and then Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia were going to have a tag match of their own. By the way, Stephanie Vaquer's finally got a profile up on WWE's website. I made the tweet, not the tweet. No, actually, what's the tweet? If I can find it here, I said. They added new people, but keep forgetting to re-add the white six to the roster page. I thought that was funny. Anyways, as soon as people found out that match was announced for this show, for those matches were announced for this show, everyone's like, they have to have an interaction between the Sky Pirates, Giulia, and Stephanie Vaquer. And long behold, HBK, Chef Shawn Michaels listened and gave us what he wanted. Interaction, which killed me and made me laugh here, is because obviously Giulia and Io met for the first time WrestleMania weekend, and they got to spend more time with each other when Io went over to Japan for Mighty Gold, the Summer Destiny show. And so did Kyrie. Kyrie, same thing here, but Kyrie used to wrestle. I wrestled, I believe, one match with Giulia. I believe it was a 6-woman tag. I think. Let me look here. I think it was one 6-1. I think it was one 6-woman tag here. Let me look here. Let me look here. I'm gonna look up Kyrie, and then I'm gonna go to Giulia. Yeah. No, it was it was a 6-woman tag. It was. Kyrie was teaming with Natsupoi and Soriano. They defended the Artist of Startup titles against Giulia, Mai Sakurai, and Thekla, and they lost the titles to Donna Del Mondo. That was at the Flash Champion show last year. And the thing that killed me about it was Kyrie had her adorable freaking telescope. She had to extend it to look at Giulia to make sure for a fact that was her, which I thought was funny. They did have a video package earlier in the night highlighting Stephanie Vaquer. They did highlight the match that they had at what the fuck was that show? Oh my god, this is gonna fucking ruin me if I can't. Stephanie. Here we go. Stephanie Vaquer. Okay, here we go. So back at the Cinderella tournament, night 2, where Giulia lost the Women's Strong Championship to Stephanie Vaquer. They said after the match that they went out to eat and became friends after that. So, which I thought was pretty funny. But I do love that they acknowledged that match. And why are they friends all of a sudden? There's an explanation behind it. That's all I ask for these days. WWE seems to do it very well. AEW, not so much. AEW gives me half-ass excuses. Like with fucking Chris Statlander, all of a sudden is no longer with Stokely Hathaway. And the explanation they gave was fucking stupid. At least here, there's an explanation and it made sense. But it was JC Jane and it was Fallon Henley against Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia. Man, Stephanie Vaquer is awesome. Giulia is awesome. They got that aura around them. And they just was pretty cool. This match was pretty cool too. Great showing here for Fallon Henley and JC Jane. Giulia's great, and so is Stephanie Vaquer. Near the end of the match, so I completely forgot that Jasmine Nix was out here, and when Jasmine Nix blindsided Giulia on the outside, I thought for a second that it was either Cora Jade again or Roxanne Perez. I had forgot that she was on the outside there because we didn't see them again for the rest of the night. Surprised the hell out of me. Anyways, so all hell starts breaking loose here. JC Jane landed a neck breaker onto Stephanie Vaquer on the outside as Henley landed a suplex onto Giulia back into the ring. JC Jane tagged in, delivers a Uranagi to Giulia, then goes for a pin. Vaquer breaks it up. Henley dumps Vaquer out to the ring. Vaquer pulls her under the bottom rope here. Jasmine Nix hops on the ring apron for somebody to distract Giulia. Stood there like a fucking idiot for quite a while. Kelani Jordan comes around to pull Nix off the apron because she's feeding with the fatal influence. But by the way, I just want to point this out. I know this is a completely different story now, but I do find it odd that for weeks before the Chicago show that Jada Parker was wanting revenge on Fatal Influence, and then just fucking bailed on, like, they changed that story immediately. So I don't know if Jada Parker still has an issue with Fatal Influence anymore or not. So we'll find out. I just thought that was very weird to me. Anyways, so JC Jane rolls up Giulia. Giulia gets kicks out too. Like I said, Kelani Jordan starts brawling with Nix on the outside. Giulia lands her patented headbutt onto JC Jane, tagging back here. Giulia delivers her beautiful net madness knee, her V trigger knee, her G trigger knee, as she likes to call it, the Giulia trigger. Stephanie Vaquer delivers a package, almost a power driver, package backbreaker for the win. And obviously, Kelani Jordan holds up the hands of Stephanie and Vaquer as Stephanie and Vaquer. Because then we did see, I'm lying, I forgot, we did see Cora and Roxanne on the podium. I'm surprised they didn't get involved in this match here. And then we saw them spin the wheel in Final Influence. It says, Spinner's Choice match, where the fuck that meant. And then this is where I'm not entirely sold or sure whether this was CW that did this or if it was WWE that did this. I'm not entirely sure at this point. But earlier in the show, we saw a vignette for Delta with the obvious clue of Halloween Havoc. And now we know her name is Sahari. Or Saria. I'm not entirely sure if I've probably butchered that name 3 or 4 times now because I'm not entirely sure of the pronunciation of this of her name now. Anyways, so the lights start flickering, all this stuff here, and then she's on the ramp. Crowd's losing her mind, and then I hear Vic Joseph say, "Hey, Booker," and then they fade to black. Now I don't know. I don't know if this was CW or it was WWE thing. I don't know. I'm confused. I was confused. Anyways, so Delta's here now, so that's pretty cool. Man, this women's division is fucking getting stacked here. And I saw somebody tweet out there, I'm like, Shawn Michaels, just sign her. Just sign Megan Bayne. Yes. AEW doesn't want her anymore. They didn't want her to begin with. They signed her and never brought her back. She's now a free agent. She doesn't work for the company anymore. So, sign her. Yes. Yes. I think actually I love that idea. Just bring in Megan Bayne, and then you want a real heater for fucking Liv Morgan, or for people for somebody who people actually like. There you go. There you go. I'm just saying, Megan Bayne is right there. So I'm assuming the reason they had to change her name is because legally, I'm pretty sure the name Delta's is trademarked by Delta Airlines, and I don't know if WWE wants to face Delta Airlines another lawsuit from. I don't know if WWE wants to be sued again. While there's like 2 other lawsuits being going on right now. So, a smart decision to change the name there. So, yeah. But overall, NXT I thought was a good show. I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is probably my favorite Lash Legend Jakara Jackson performance I saw. I love Io Shirai. I love Kairi. They are one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet. Io Sky obviously keeps proving why she's probably the best in-ring talent that WWE has in the women's division. That is, maybe in both the divisions. I don't know. But I'm very interested to see where that 4-way decision goes here. I'm very looking forward to the NXT title match on Saturday or Sunday. Just kind of intrigued to see what this Oba Femi Nikkita Lyons thing goes to. Looking forward to their TLC match on Sunday. Obviously, looking forward to seeing Giulia and Roxanne hook up again. I'm very interested to see how Stephanie Vaquer and Roxanne click and mesh into the ring, because we haven't seen that yet. We're going to see it on Saturday, and obviously Delta. We'll see what Delta's going to do here. You know, I'm not even fully convinced that a member of Fatal Influence is going to be challenging Kelani Jordan after the end of that show. But let's go over NXT Halloween Havoc here. So this is the card now as it stands here. Match that was announced earlier in the show. Like I said, we had a video package for Andre Chase talking about whatever a challenge of doing a ambulance match. It's Andre Chase, Ridge Holland in an ambulance match. You know, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure on this one who's going to win it. Because I don't know how babyface heavy this show is going to be. Because I'm not entirely sure whether or not Kelani Jordan is leaving Hershey, Pennsylvania as the Women's North American champion. I'm not entirely sure if Tony D'Angelo is going to be leaving NXT North American champion for the men. I'm not entirely sure if Trick Williams is leaving Halloween Havoc as the NXT champion. Like the one match I'm 99.999% sure on is Giulia and Roxanne, Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer winning their match. So I'm gonna go with Andre Chase to get the win here. I think Andre Chase is gonna get the W, and since it's a no disqualification match, I can absolutely see Andre Chase win with the help of Duke Hudson and oh my God, who is the other guy in Chase University? Why does that name not even Chase? Who is it? Who am I thinking of? Riley Osborne. I couldn't think of the fucking name. Yeah, I can absolutely see Chase U helping out Andre Chase, getting revenge back from Ridge Holland here. And I think Andre Chase can get the win here. We don't know the type of match this is going to be on Saturday or Sunday, but Kelani Jordan is defending the NXT North American champion against either Fallon Henley, Jason Jane, or Jasmine Nix. I'm not entirely sure that neither of those three are going to get the title match. For some weird reason, I have this feeling it's going to be Delta that gets this title match, but I'm not entirely sure. But if I had to choose one out of the three, I think it would go to Jason Jane. And I could see JC Jane winning the NXT North American Women's title. Actually, you know what? I think JC Jane's going to walk away. Somebody from Vital Influence, most likely Jason Jane's, probably going to walk away with the NXT North American Women's title, which then would then set up a program between them and Delta, so Delta can end up winning that title from Jason Jane. It would have been because it feels like Delta may be coming in as a babyface, at least for a little bit. So I would absolutely have Jason Jane win it there, and then put the title, strap it to Delta, maybe, unless you want to do the Stephanie Vaquer thing there. So, like I said, I think Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer are going to win their match, and then possibly do a fatal four-way at Deadline, because I think they're going to announce Deadline after this show here. Unless they want to have an NXT Women's title match on the Philadelphia show. Who knows? If it was up to me, I would just have Cora Jade turn on Roxanne and do the title match there in Philadelphia. Roxanne beat her there. Then you set up the Giulia match for Deadline and stuff. Because I think Giulia's going to win the title at Deadline when they announce that show. So yeah, and what I would do is I would have Giulia challenge her at Deadline, and then I put Stephanie and Cora in the what the fuck is it? The Iron Survivor Challenge match, and they have Stephanie Vaquer win that one, and then Giulia can have a Giulia. And what I would do, and I would change it up this year, instead of giving the winner the match on television, I would wait and I would have them have that match at a Vengeance Day. I think it's Vengeance Day. Is it Vengeance Day or is it St. Valentine's Day Massacre? What show was it they had this year? NXT and Deliver. They had a what was it? It was a Vengeance Day. So yeah, so instead of, because I know last year Deadline had, so it was like a New Year's Evil thing, and I'm like, instead of, or you could turn New Year's Evil into a if it was up to me, I would turn New Year's Evil into a pay-per-view. But I also wouldn't want to have Giulia's title run in short. So if it was up to me, I would have Giulia win the title at Deadline. Then you do the Iron Survivor Challenge, have Stephanie Vaquer win that one, or hear me out on this one, and this is the only way would be okay with Cora Jade getting a championship match. Giulia wins the title at Deadline. Cora Jade wins the fucking Iron Survivor Challenge, and if you wanted to do the TV special there, you do Giulia versus Cora Jade on that show, or whatever or the show in February if they want to do St. Valentine's Day Massacre or whatever, and then you save Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer for Stand and Deliver. I feel like that should be the trajectory, and then once Roxanne loses the championship, she can go up to the main roster and whatnot there. Several different ways you can do it, but I like the way I just played it out there. You know, Giulia should pin Roxanne here, and then you set up Roxanne and Giulia for Deadline in December. If they're doing Deadline, Giulia wins the championship there. You put Cora Jade and Stephanie Vaquer and maybe Delta in the Iron Survivor Challenge. Cora Jade wins there. Have that match with Giulia and Cora Jade because it kind of makes sense. Cora Jade did screw over Giulia at Giulia's first attempt at the NXT Championship. So you could do that match at wherever you want to, as long as it's not at Stand and Deliver. and Giulia can have an easy first title defense against somebody. You can have her defended against maybe you can have her defended again if you want to have her have a rematch with fucking Roxanne Perez before Roxanne goes up to the main roster. Fine, but then you save the Stephanie Vaquer match because that is the end game there. Stephanie Vaquer, Giulia, and Stephanie Vaquer can win the championship at Stand and Deliver in Las Vegas. And then Giulia can go up to Raw or SmackDown, preferably whatever show Io Shirai is on, because then you can do. I really want Io to be the champion going into SummerSlam. SummerSlam being a 2-night event, you can do Giulia and Io for the women's championship on either night of SummerSlam. So I just booked the next 6 months of your television program. By the way, oh no, actually, hold on. So the next 10 months of your programming there, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, pay me. Oh, don't do that. TLC match for the NXT North American Championship. I think this is kind of the end of the road here for one of these two in NXT, but they kind of just started some type of hinting of this romance angle with Nikkita Lyons and Oba Femi. I think Oba Femi regains the NXT North American Championship, and I think this is going to be where we call up the family to NXT. They are on NXT. Call up the family to Raw or SmackDown. Because at that point, if now me saying that, now they could just have Tony D'Angelo retain here. They have move Oba Femi up to the NXT Championship picture. This is a tough one. These last two matches are very tough because I don't know where the direction is for either one of these four are going to go. I think Trick Williams. I think his time on NXT should be coming to an end very soon. But I can also see them pulling up Ethan Page to NXT as well, from NXT too. That North American Championship is very. But also the TLC match can also prevent the idea that having Oba Femi lose again, getting pinned again, and then it doesn't affect anything here. Ooh. Oh my God, this is difficult. I'm gonna stick with the story that I've just created out of my fucking brain here. I think Tony D'Angelo is gonna retain the NXT North American Championship. I think Oba Femi, because now that they've taken out the family, so Tony D'Angelo can say he won the title without the help of the family, or retain the title without the help of the family. Oba Femi can then move on to the NXT Championship picture, and Trick Williams retains, and they do Trick Williams versus Oba Femi. I'm gonna stick with that for now, unless something happens in the next 3 days of going into SmackDown. I may change my answer there, but right now I'm gonna go with Tony D'Angelo retains, Trick Williams retains, and they move on to Trick versus Oba Femi. Who they got lined up next for Tony D'Angelo? Hell if I fucking know. Hell if I know. I don't have a fucking clue on that front. Charlie Dempsey, maybe? I don't know. Oh man, that's a good question. We'll see. But yeah, those are my previews. That's my preview and my prediction for Halloween Havoc on Sunday. It's no longer called NXT Halloween Havoc. It's now WWE Halloween Havoc. So I'm assuming they're going to start just calling NXT shows WWE shows now. I mean, the live, the pay-per-views is not and whatnot though. So This is actually the longest NXT review I've done, mainly because I had to go on that fucking rant about the Carlito shit. I'm going to keep it in, and if you don't like it, fuck you. I don't give a shit. You are not important to me, okay? So, fuck you on that one. And also, I had to go through the predictions for Sunday. I keep wanting to say Saturday because I'm so used to some NXT shows being on Saturday. WWE doesn't even have a show on Saturday, and they're doing Halloween Havoc on Sunday. Speaking of Halloween Havoc, I want to put this out here before I go because I thought this was fucking funny as shit. So, WWE Vault yesterday, I want to say. It was not yesterday. It was Sunday. They were playing. They were live streaming Halloween Havoc. The 1998 Halloween Havoc, and whoever runs that account needs a raise because they did the show as it was being aired, and they had the ending of how a Hogan Warrior cut to the screen, to the colored screen where if you lose your signal, that happens on everything here before the Goldberg DDP match, as an homage to the pay-per-view feed calling for hundreds of thousands of people back in 1998 because the pay-per-view went long, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I said that is some fucking excellent shit. They went back to Hogan or to DD. They cut right into the DDP Goldberg match, like as the bell rang. But I remember it when I watched it. It was either after the match with Hogan and Warrior they cut the feed, or was it when they did the lockup between DDP and Goldberg and they went to the outside, and I think the pay-per-view feed cut. I'm not entirely sure which one it was when I was watching it live, but it was one of the two. But still, the fact that they did that was fucking hilarious, and I love the WWE Vault YouTube channel. This is one of the best things WWE's ever created. And I tweeted out earlier. I'm like, I need WWE Vault to air ECW's November to Remember next month. I think it said November to Remember 1999. I don't remember what happened on that show, by the way. That's a good question. ECW November to Remember 1990. What was on that show? It was one of their best shows. Was that the show where? Okay, so we had Jerry Lynn and Tajiri. They defeated Super. Ooh, okay, the three-way dance. Of course they did. They had Sabu and Chris Candido. Probably had a good match because Chris Candido. Mike Awesome by Masato Tanaka. Sure, why not? RVD and Taz for the ECW television title, and they had the weird 6-man tag match between Rhino and the Impact Players versus Raven, Tommy Dreamer, and the Snake. That's a weird ass combination. Rhino and the Impact Players, which is just incredible, and Lance Storm versus Raven, Tommy Dreamer, and the Sandman. That's a odd fucking 6-man tag match that I've ever seen one here. Yeah, I can see the bad of this show. Ooh, excuse me. I can see the bad of this show on there. I'm all for it. I like that idea. Unless they want to do November to Remember 2000. I mean, nah, just do that one. Just do that one. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got here for you guys tonight. I will be back here on Friday night for Friday Night SmackDown. Where we got the Motor City Machine Guns taking on DIY to see who would challenge the Gorillas of Destiny for the Tag Team Championships. Most likely at Crown Jewel, maybe, or even not after. I don't know. We'll see when that match is going to take place. Series match 7 of Andrade versus Carmella Hayes, this time with fucking LA Knight as the referee. Most likely getting a triple threat match for the United States Championship out of this. At this point, I'm pretty much guaranteed that. I don't know if anything else match-wise is happening next week. It isn't going to be a double taping, though. Speaking, I did want to mention this. PW Insider did put out that for the double tapings, Shinsuke Nakamura will be back. I don't know if he'll be on the show, but he will be backstage. He will be at the show for the first time in forever. Triple H remembers that Shinsuke Nakamura is on the roster, thank God, because like you lost AJ Styles the moment you got him back after he got hurt. Hopefully AJ will be back soon, and they could possibly pick up a future. Because there was a rumor going around that they were going to possibly reignite the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura feud now that AJ is a babyface again. And then Triple H was probably going to right the wrongs of what Vince did to that story. We'll see about that. But yeah, until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. This has been the NXT review. Until then, we're out.
Suplexes to a high-flying dives, wild animals where passion thrives. WrestleMania to the indie halls, where champions and